For Assemblywoman Petrie Norris, the ocean is not just a part of her district, it's a valuable source of life.
We are so blessed to live in one of the most beautiful places on the planet. And here in Orange County, here in the 74th Assembly District, we don't take that for granted.
Marine biologist and community activist Nancy Caruso could not agree more.
Our lives depend on the health of that blue stuff. Whether we know it or not, whether we acknowledge it or not on a daily basis. I just took a deep breath and I thank the ocean for it because 80% of our oxygen comes from there.
With that in mind, Assemblywoman Petrie Norris set out to correct what seemed an error in the California legal code that does not allow for vital ocean restoration work in marine conservation areas.
Right now, in our marine conservation areas, where this work is most critical, it's actually not permitted in California code. And my belief is that that has just been an oversight in our code. And so AB 63 really is a simple fix to an important problem.
Her legislation, AB 63, will update the Marine Managed Areas of Improvement Act to allow for restoration.
This is critical because climate change and human impacts like overfishing and oil spills are destroying our coastal ecosystems. Marine restoration is a critical strategy to rebuild our coastal ecosystems and ensure that we are protecting the health of our oceans, of our planet, and of our communities.
When I was in the 4th grade, growing up in Alexandria, Virginia, Mrs. May was my teacher, and she taught me about oceanography. I had never even seen the ocean before, but that day I decided I was going to study it. And come to find out, now 40 years later, I called Mrs. May, found her after looking for her for 15 years, and told her this story. And she said she taught me about marine biology and oceanography because she wanted to be one when she was a kid and ended up being a teacher. And she thought, I could inspire a young marine biologist. And it worked. We both cried over the phone. It was a wonderful, wonderful day.
Nancy's nonprofit group, Get Inspired, has been the catalyst for the legislation. As she was inspired by her teacher, Nancy is doing the same with thousands of children and adult volunteers working with her to restore the ocean and preserve kelp forests, among other restoration strategies. Kelp, by the way, is an algae, a very important one.
Kelp forests are often hailed as the trees of our ocean. And like the forests in the Amazon, kelp forests are critical for carbon sequestration. They're also critical for ecosystem preservation.
I've seen lots of kids get excited about kelp, but it just takes one trigger, one day of learning of plate tectonics or learning about the disappearance of kelp forests along our coast that can literally change a life and change the world, really. Because now this is spun off into so many different areas, and I am continuing that by bringing that message of you can make a change to all these students that I interact with and volunteers that I interact with on a regular basis. So hopefully the ripple effect is huge.